Here we go. Predictions are open. If you're in the chat upon hearing this message, you have a couple of minutes here to place your bets on who you think is going to be this week's ESL Open Cup Asia champion. Is it going to be our Terran player or the Protoss? Is it going to be one Korean or the other as we get into game number 1 of this best of 5? And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player representing CranKy Z Gaming. It is herO. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And for the most part, we have been following herO's journey to the finals. We casted him against the best Zerg players that Korea has to offer. We saw him against Solar, and we also saw him against Dark as well, shutting them both down. But now, he's up against a different race entirely. He's up against ByuN, the one-man army, and he is going for a cheeky, what looks to be an eBay block into the natural, just skirting around the edge of the map, avoiding a probe scout if it were to come out, and the eBay is thrown down, looking to force an unnatural natural. What do I mean by that? Well, by the time the probe comes down to expand, the eBay would already have too much progression on it for it to be cancelled, or for herO to pull workers reactively to try to shut it down, and herO is going to be forced to expand either at the linear third location or the triangular third location instead, and that will expose herO. That will expose his mineral line and make it a little bit more awkward to defend. And there we go. herO, he does send his probe down. It's too late. eBay is almost done, so herO has to expand elsewhere. And as you can imagine, defending these two bases can be a little bit awkward for herO. And we'll see if ByuN is going to be going for something like a Hellion heavy composition. Back at home, we have a reactor on the way, CC as well. So it is a Rax expand, was a single gas opener from ByuN. Very economic follow-up here from our Terran player. But we'll see if he goes for a drop play, if he goes for Hellion run-bys. There's potential available for ByuN. Likewise, herO sending out a probe, and ByuN is looking for it. He's looking for said probe again. herO, he is more than willing to proxy. Proxy Stargates are very common, and it is going to be a Stargate opener, but the Stargate is back at home. Oh, I love this. So herO, he's, life gives you lemons. And mate, herO, he's getting zesty here, as he does use the Stargate as a part of a wall. Now, walls are typically very uncommon, especially walls at the main base in this matchup, but because of the weird base location, because of the weird base setup, it makes sense here to wall off, because if there were a Hellion run-by, for example, that we were talking about, then we would have a way to wall off and protect the main base at least. So, I love the SimCity here from herO. Just trying to make do here with the scenario that's given to him. Is going to be going for an Oracle first. Back at home, ByuN, staying on 1 gas, is going for a 3 Rax follow-up. No Hellions to speak of. This is going to hit hard. It's going to be really difficult to defend. So basically, ByuN, once he gets his expansion up and running, is going to be building up a very large bio army. He's going to be hitting with stim and with combat shields. It's gonna be a brutal attack. This is ideal against a Stargate opener, and it is a Stargate opener. That's the problem right now. We do have an Oracle on the way, thankfully. This Oracle should scout this. The Oracle should see everything with a revelation, and herO can start preparing back at home. Oh, as he goes so with the Marines instead, gonna be able to pick off a lot of them already. 4 Marines go down, and even a couple of SCVs as well. A bold move from herO, but he keeps the Oracle alive, and he scouts everything. He confirms the 3 Racks, and even slows down the Marine count. Every Marine that goes down, it matters so much more because of how potent this push can be. So a good start for herO. Now, what is scary about this when you go for a Stargate opener is that if you invested in too many Phoenixes, you'd be in a lot of trouble, because, as you can imagine, Mass Marine do beautifully against Phoenixes. Phoenixes, they can pick up 1 unit at a time, and they can kill sky units or like air-based units, but this is going to be hitting without medevacs. So again, these Phoenixes are not ideal, which is why we can see herO investing into more Oracles. spawns the second Oracle. We have a third Oracle on the way. Oracles on the flip side, they can do well against these Marines early on, but they can also harass, do economic damage, and keep ByuN at home. As we even see a stasis trap in the main is going to be denied. The Oracles are going to be joining forces, also converging on the main base as ByuN moves out across the map. Stim is done. Combat Shields is done as well. This is still going to be a potent attack as reinforcements are going down. The question becomes, though, outside of these Oracles, does herO have enough at home to defend? He has a shield battery, overcharge, and a handful of gateway units. Against his opponents, I do think that herO has enough. It's going to be close. It's going to be close. Here we go. We do Stim on forward. Late reaction out of herO. 2 adepts go down already. Zealots are falling left and right. The DPS from these Marines is just too much. Overcharge is not going to be able to keep anything alive. The boys are being pulled, and this is game-ending damage. This is just far too much. Every probe goes down. ByuN with the 3 racks is going to snowball out of control, and just like that, herO, he loses everything at his natural. An Oracle goes down as well. herO, he is down to 24 workers. 0 probes survived. And herO is in a lot of trouble. Again, a very late reaction. We saw 2 adepts go down instantly, and when we had only 4 adepts to work with, as well as 4 stalkers, every unit counts. Every unit matters that much more. herO is on the back foot. He is all in. There's no coming back from this. Oh boy. herO is throwing down 2 more gateways. It's going to be 5 gate blink stalkers in total. He's going to be warping it across the map. We have sentries. We have an aggressive pylon. This is the only option for herO, especially because ByuN did lose a lot of Marines. So herO he's hoping to kill ByuN here and now when he is at his most vulnerable. Can herO pull this off? Oh boy. Here we go. Oracles, they dive into the main. Gonna get a Marauder. Couple of SCVs, you know, they disrupt the production. We're just warping in wave after wave of stalkers. ByuN, being a little bit ambitious, is gonna be moving out onto the map. And with these Marauders, he can take down sentries, he can take down stalkers in a head-to-head fight. ByuN has more than enough to work with. He's gonna pull back here to the safety of his Marines. There were some good force fields, but we had counterplay available. Again, really good juggling coming in as well. herO, he's running out of units. He's down to 4 stalkers. Oh. Behind this, herO has been making workers. He has 6 probes now at his natural. Copium. It's something. He has high ground vision. He can blink into the main. ByuN doesn't have too much bio to work with. So Deeper does go down. ByuN does have to respect this army, but once again he stims on forward. It does force herO out of the main. And herO, he's still got some fight in him. You know, props to herO, just trying to do the best that he can with what he has. There's no tanks, so he can try to out-control his opponent, but with these Marauders, with Concussive Shell, there's only so much you can do. As herO backs off entirely. Behind this big mine jump in the main base, I missed it. herO missed it as well. 12 pros went down in the main. It's all or nothing for herO. Good target fire. Oh, the juggling! Oh my god. As we do have the Marauders being focused down, these Stalkers are getting a bit out of hand. SCVs are falling. And ByuN is being contained to 2 bases. Oh my god. herO, arguably with the best Blink Stalker micro in the world, is kind of pulling this off. Oh, kind of, as he blinks on forward onto the army, into the bunker range, into SCVs. There's nothing else left here. The final Stalker goes down. GG gets called, and ByuN takes game number 1. GG, well played. Oh, again, just a really good setup for ByuN. Forcing the unnatural natural out of herO, following it up with a 3-racks. herO tried to keep ByuN at home. That was why he made all those oracles. He knew, of course, that the oracles could never fight ByuN head-on, but the goal was to try to keep him busy, try to delay him. ByuN ignored the oracles, went across the map, and yeah, was able to snowball out of control. GG. GG, well played. Was able to cripple the economy of herO with his 3-racks push, and with that he takes the first game. And now we're working towards game number 2. Game number 2 is on the way. It looks like we should be able to wrap up this series just before WTL, which is both a good thing and a bad thing. I did see Pikachu in the chat asking if I slept. The answer is no. I am very tired. I have some coffee, and I may have to resort to the coffee. I don't know if that's going to be a wise choice, but I think I will need to sip away at the coffee for WTL. Because I'm good for this. I'm good for the finals, of course, of ESL Asia. But WTL is something else. Here we go, spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ancient Sister, and we have the South Korean Protoss player representing CranKy Gaming down in this series, looking to fight back. It is herO. I'm spawning. In the bottom left hand corner of Ancient Sister, and I was just opening the door. I was just getting some fresh air going. Oh, making sure that I'm good. In the bottom left-hand corner of Ancient Sister, we have the South Korean Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN, leading the series 1-0. Here we go. And this time we do have an interesting setup here from herO. Instead of trying to wall off here at the Reaper Cliff, he's going to be going for a wall at the natural base instead. Going for a gate expand, and this will mean that herO is going to get eyes very quickly on any kind of shenanigans going on from his opponent. Ooh, as he's going for a gate cyber into Nexus. But again, any kind of SCV coming in for an eBay block would be shut down far faster, as herO would get eyes on it far faster this time instead. So a nice adaptation from herO. Meanwhile, ByuN is going for a Rax expand. I believe, let me just double check herO. He was able to scout the main. He was able to dip on in and confirm the single gas geyser. So he's fully aware that ByuN is being very economic. So everything is on the up and up, and nothing too fancy is going to be going on. We should also emphasize as well that this time ByuN is not going for a 3-racks, which makes plenty of sense. As you can imagine, 3-racks excel on some of these smaller maps like Dragon Scales or Babylon or Royal Blood even. On a map like this, a little bit less so, just because of how large Ancient Cistern is. It means that these ground-based pushes, which would have been a 3-racks, the Marines, they have to waddle across the map, and it takes them a little bit too long to do so, so it's less effective overall on a map like this. As the first Reaper does make its way out across the map, looking for some economic damage and trying to get a read on what the tech is, of course, from his opponent. herO goes for a scout. He does confirm the factory on the high ground, so herO now knows it's not a 3-racks. As the Reaper across the map does get fended off, and ByuN hasn't seen the tech. ByuN has not seen the Stargate of herO yet. As the Reaper is going to be dancing with the Adept, looking for a way in. herO throws down the Robo. This is looking like Phoenix, Colossus. Phoenixes, of course, they give herO a lot of map control on a map like Ancient Sister, and it makes plenty of sense to rely on these Phoenixes early on. They shut down any drop play, they just shut down any units out on the map, really. Meanwhile, ByuN going for a 3-1-1 setup really early on. Stim is on the way, so ByuN is going to be hitting a very strong timing here once he builds up his army and once he works towards his medevacs. herO will have a defense in time, but we'll see if he has enough of a defense. We'll see if he's able to keep up with the army of his opponent. The robo at this point is done. First Immortal is on the way, and we should be seeing a Robotics Bay momentarily to get into those Colossi. As ByuN has his Reaper in position to get eyes on the would-be third base. And we were talking about the Robotics Bay, and there it is. Robotics Bay is on the way here in the main for those Colossi. So everything that herO is doing is as we would expect on a map like Ancient Cistern. Very standard play here, very meta, I should say. Behind this, herO should be working on a third. Whether it's the linear third or the triangular, we'll see, and there it is. Linear third is on the way. And ByuN is looking to try to kill herO before he can really get going. As he's moving out, vying for map control. We should be seeing an add-on swap for those medevacs. And the Stim is going to finish up in a couple of seconds. It's going to be a tight hold. We have a shield battery. We have an overcharge. We have an Immortal as well. Third base is going to be denied. ByuN, he doesn't have to break the natural. Denying the third is all he really has to do. Good luck on the Phoenixes. And ByuN is rotating around, just making sure that he's containing his opponent to 2 bases. Once again, some pretty big lock-ons. You can see here, ByuN is preserving his Stim. He doesn't want to waste it. First Colossus is now about to come out. Pieces are catching some reinforcements. Oh, they could even catch the medevacs even. Up. If he can get these medevacs, those are going to be some big pickoffs. SCVs have to be pulled to repair. And the medevacs, they are stuck at home. Meanwhile, across the map, ByuN, he does see the third base. He's going to get a lock-on the Colossus first. Oh, that's a kill. That was a kill, not a cancel. 400 minerals down the drain. Ay. So herO, he may be doing a great job here at containing his opponents and keeping these medevacs at home, and they're still at home, by the way. For herO to lose that Nexus, that was not worth it. Not worth it for herO. Has a lot of damages dealt here to these Phoenixes. They're going to be able to rotate around. They delay the third. ByuN finally has his medevacs and he can go for some drop play. I'm sure he wanted to go for a committed attack, but after the big delay, drop play is really all he can really hope for. As the medevacs are moving out, full medevac does get sniped. A big loss for herO as the Colossus do recall back home. Meanwhile, Cyclone's going to be catching the Phoenixes, and they do not get any of them. Oh my god. Phoenixes do survive. ByuN hoping to catch them. Bold move by ByuN. As herO's just consolidating his forces, he's up to 3 Colossi. He's moving out across the map. There are no tanks to defend, no Widow Mines either. ByuN does not have the best defensive position, and herO, he's going to be able to deny this third base. Oh, ByuN is hurting. At least the third will survive. We'll make it out. And what's important right now is that ByuN didn't lose anything. He does maintain a worker lead. He is on par when it comes to the army supply. Looking at the units lost tab, you can see here, the majority of these units that died for ByuN was that one medevac drop. Remember, there was one full medevac that went down, and that's really been it. Outside of that, ByuN has been really meticulous with his army. He's been preserving it, preserving the medevacs, the Vikings, the Marines, the Marauders. And as a result, ByuN is going to be building up towards this big moment for himself. As he works towards those ghosts, though, we can see that herO, he's already got disruptors out as well. It's not going to be easy. Not going to be easy as a fourth base is being taken. herO trying to catch up in terms of the economy. ByuN skyrocketing ahead, getting his third base fully saturated. He's up 10 workers. Ghost well underway. Speaking of, Zealot Rambai is caught out. Oh, as herO's disruptor count is getting higher and higher. How many disruptors are we on right now? We are up to 3 disruptors, about to be 4. We have a second robo on the way for double disruptor production. As amazing as ByuN's army is, and ByuN's army in a head-to-head fight is honestly looking pretty terrifying. But 1 or 2 good Novas is all that herO really needs. Here we go. ByuN is posturing. And he's up in supply. Novas go up! Up! Big connect. Oh my god! Massive connections on ByuN's army, and that's what I was worried about. All we need is 1, and we had a beautiful connection. ByuN plummeting in army supply. He has to back off. Aye. And just like that, herO has an army lead. He's moving out across the map. The death ball is upon us, and after that one connection, I don't think ByuN can hold on. Oh boy. Here we go. herO, he's forcing his way up the ramp as well. Big EMPs on the Zealots and those Stalkers. But the Colossus are just really, there's no answers to them. Novas are going off one after the other. Colossus were uncontested, that's what I meant to say. GG gets called, and herO takes game number 2, tying up the series 1-1. GG. Of course, there was potential with the army of ByuN. There's always potential. But he was heavily reliant, especially because of his army composition. Again, no Widowmines, no tanks. Very biocentric. Very Marine, Marauder, Ghost, Medevac. Viking as well. It's a very fragile army, as you saw. A lot of DPS, there's a lot of firepower in that army, but very fragile, and one wrong move, you can lose everything. And I feel like when you play like this, it's all on a knife's edge. It's all very, you're treading a fine line between living and dying. And there in that game, ByuN was dying. GG, well played. We have a series. We have a back and forth. We are tied up 1-1, and we're going to game number 3. Oh, chat's about to see the Nova. Aye. As we're getting into our next game. Here we go. Game 3 is going to be on Grass Farm. With this third game, we're going to be determining who takes the lead in this series, who gains momentum in this best of 5. Here we go. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Grass Farm, we have the South Korean Protoss player representing CranKy Gaming. Tying up the series 1-1 in that last game, it is herO. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. having a hard time in that last game. Going for something a little bit cheesier, a little bit more aggressive as he goes for a proxy Rax. Now, there is only one SCV. It's only going to be one Rax across the map. One Rax back at home, but great minds, they think alike, because herO is going for one gate at home and a proxy across the map as well. Oh boy. Okay. Aggression is upon us. Who comes out on top? Who comes out ahead? That's a good question. Now, I want to give the edge to ByuN. So, with this gateway, herO, he's going to be making a Zealot first. It's going to be a Zealot first, then a Cybercore, then an Adept or a Stalker across the map. Most likely an Adept. Maybe a Stalker. Regardless, as the Zealot moves out, herO is going to have nothing at home to defend. So one Reaper could go uncontested, but the probe does pull back, and herO scouts. He is now aware that a Reaper is going to be coming out. Now, just because he knows that there's a Reaper on the way doesn't mean he can stop it. Again, this Cybercore was delayed in favor of the second gateway, so this is going to get weird. What's important is that herO knows about the proxy of ByuN. ByuN doesn't know about the proxy of herO. As ByuN is going for a double gas opener anyway, should be going for a fast factory. Reaper has arrived, making its way into the main, and boys have to be pulled, and herO has to be very careful to preserve his units. You need to pull back weakened probes. Oof. One probe already goes down. Can he get a second? Up! As he does barely avoid this round. 3 probes in total. Can he get a 4th? He will get a 4th probe. A good amount of damage is done. Meanwhile, across the map, the Zealot does bypass the Reaper. They're getting on top of the add-on. Tech Lab is not going to finish. Uh-oh. And now it's ByuN's turn to pull the boys. Now it's ByuN's turn to try to keep this Tech Lab alive. He will not. That's a kill on the Tech Lab. But he does get a surround on that Zealot. Reaper does come back home. We have an Adept coming out as well to help deal with this. The second Adept about to rock up as well. And now ByuN is on the back foot. Oh, this is too much. Too many SCVs are going down. Too many SCVs are exposed. Now, we do have a bunker on the high ground at least. But the Adepts, they make it past the wall. They make it into the main base. They're getting into the mineral line. More workers are being pulled. Ah. Now, there's only a single Adept, so this could be worse. It could be worse here. As 8 SCVs go down, and ByuN is working on his expansion. Likewise, so is herO. Things are going to settle down. But I want to give the edge to herO, I think. It's difficult to call. Maybe I actually want to give the edge to ByuN. So ByuN, he has a factory. He has an orbital that's about to finish up, so he can make 2 SCVs at a time. And he's getting into his 2-1-1 setup. herO has no tech. herO, he's ahead in workers, yes, but only slightly for the time being. And there's no Twilight Council, there's no Stargate, there's no Robo. It's a weird game state. It is a weird game state. I appreciate that ByuN is going for a safety tank just to make sure that, you know, he doesn't die to anything crazy anytime soon. Likewise, Hellion attempts to make it out as well, and it looks like it will. Barely escape the clutches of some of these Stalkers. Not all of them. As we do have herO looking for the intercept. Hellion does go down. herO going to be shutting down the proxy gateway out on the map as well. It is going to be Blink from herO. His tech of choice is a Twilight Council. Oh my god, but 3 Adepts shade into the main. They're not going to get too much done. As they do shade onto that tank as well. And yeah, they're going to get cleaned up. Before getting a couple more SCVs. 3 SCVs in total. And at least herO was able to scout the opener here. It is a 2-1-1 setup from ByuN. But he's working on tank production. Just really fortifying himself on his 2 bases. Meanwhile, herO, he doubles down and he throws down a Dark Shrine. Oh boy. I was just blowing my nose. Okay, there's a lot to go over. So, herO, it isn't just a Dark Shrine. He has 3 more gates on the way, so it's going to be 4-gate Blink with DTs. Unfortunately, herO doesn't have a Robo. Oh my god, that's a 5th gateway, by the way. So this is a 2-base all-in. 2-base all-in setup here from herO. He does not have high ground vision. He can warp in some sentries for hallucinations, but he won't really have the ability to go into the main, unfortunately. Regardless, with a high enough Stalker count, he can threaten the natural. There is that sentry coming out. And again, I'm pretty sure this sentry is just for the hallucination, just so herO can gain access to the main. The main base is looking much more exposed. On the natural, we have 3 tanks covering it. The main only has 1 tank, and even then we can bypass the tank and go straight to the mineral line. There is a Cyclone, which will help shut down things like War Prisms, but yeah, we don't have a Robo, we don't have a Prism. As herO's moving out with his Stalkers, with his DTs, herO, he expands behind this, working on a 3rd base. We have Charge on the way as well. So herO is not all in. He's committed, don't get me wrong, but oh god, the tank shots. He's having a really hard time finding damage. ByuN, he sees the shimmer, he scans, he takes down the DTs. And herO is in trouble. I love as well that we have a ByuN waiting for the blink on the low ground. He catches the Stalkers, and every Stalker is going to be going down. A beautiful trap here laid by ByuN, anticipating the movement of herO. And now he unsieges, he's moving out. There is 1 DT, which does get scanned, but it does force ByuN to show his hand, or I should say, herO, he gets eyes on the move out. ByuN does have to preserve some scans, though. He does have to preserve his energy. As another DT is revealed. We have another on the way. And another. Again, hoping to force a 1 scan each. Another DT coming in from behind. These have been expensive losses here, but we have more DTs trickling on in. And do we have this action available? It looks like we do. As the army sims on forward, takes down the pylon, overcharge is going to get depowered. And ByuN is getting out of control. DT coming in once again. Do we have a scan? Oof, we do not. We had to expend a lot of scans here during the push. And herO holds. The Invisible Man is just a little bit too good. herO, he gets away with his 3rd base. He did lose a Cyber Core, so it's a little bit brutal. He is going to have to rebuild it. We have DT Blink on the way. Shadow Stride. ByuN is just working on expanding, taking his 3rd base. God, the amount of scans that we've had to expend here for DTs is insane. I want to say like 8 or 9 scans. Ay, ay, ay. And as ByuN is moving out, herO moves in. ByuN is he's gonna have to respect that. Does rotate back around. Oh! And he does catch the sentries. Big pickoffs here for ByuN. Again, he's ahead in the army supply. The DTs have been the only thing keeping herO in this game. These Dark Templar, they've been a thorn in ByuN's side. Another DT. As these Dark Templar are relentless, they take down the tank. And there's another DT here in this army. Ah! That was a kill, by the way, not a cancel on that Nexus. More Zelta being warped in. DT as well. Well, there are just too many Marines, too many Marauders. As the Zealots go down, we can dive on top of these Stalkers as well. ByuN just had too strong of an early game. Too strong of a follow-up as well. To shut down all those Stalkers earlier on just, yeah, had a cascading effect on the game. herO, he's trying to get a 4th base up and running. But herO doesn't have an army. He doesn't have any Immortals, Disruptors, Colossi. It's pure gateways. Pure gateway army here from herO. He's working on Storm, and that will help. But ByuN already has Ghosts. He already has the answer to Storm. He has an answer to High Templar. As you see herO trying to go for a run by, but is it going to get caught out? ByuN likewise pushing through the center of the map. Now with the Ghosts. Storm isn't done. Oh, big feedbacks. On 2 of those Ghosts. Means those EMPs are not available, not like they once were. Storm is done. High Templar is pushing on forward. Big Storm on the Marauders. Another Storm zoning back the army. Ooh, flanking High Templar do take mine shots to the face, and it looks like that may have just been exactly what ByuN needed. GG gets called, and ByuN will take game number 3, taking a lead in this best of 5 finals. GG. Oh. GG, well played. ByuN looking powerful in that game. I say that it was a quirky start to the game. If you remember, it was a proxy Rax versus a proxy gateway. A very chaotic turn of events that in the end led herO to fall behind a little bit. He was struggling to get up tech-wise. Like, tech-wise, he was behind quite heavily. And by the time he moved out with Blink Stalkers, he got caught. The Stalker count was reset. The DTs, they weren't getting any economic damage done. They were forcing scans and they were picking off a couple of units here and there, but it just was not worth it in the end. Not enough to allow herO to claw his way back in. GG. GG. And with that, ByuN is 1 game away from advancing on to the grand finals. I mean, sorry, from becoming this week's ESL Open Cup Asia champion. We're in the finals. Look, I am very tired. Mistakes were made today. Mistakes were made. I will repent. Don't you worry. So we're getting into our next game, and this morning, in the top right-hand corner of Altitude, we have the South Korean Protoss player representing DragonKaiZ Gaming. It is herO. Here we go. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. ByuN, of course, 1 game away from becoming this week's champion. herO, he needs to fight back here and now to force the ace match. And ByuN, 2 games in a row. Moving out here with this SCV. And this is looking like another prime proxy location. Never mind, the SCV is going in for an eBay block. Let's go. Across the map, herO going for a scout across the map. Just going to be confirming the amount of gas is being taken. But alas, he won't quite be ready for the eBay. The engineering bay is thrown down, and herO is going to be forced to take the unnatural natural. There's no reason for him to check the low ground anytime soon. And once again, herO is going to be vulnerable to aggression from ByuN. Now, the last time ByuN forced a really weird expansion pattern from herO, the last time that happened, herO did go for Stargate play into Oracles, and ByuN went for a 3-Rax. He went for a 3-Rax to kill and punish herO, and it worked beautifully. What does ByuN do this time? As this probe is putting in a lot of work, herO, upon seeing the natural base, upon seeing that eBay is forced to expand elsewhere over on the left-hand side of the map, taking the linear base as his second. Meanwhile, behind this, ByuN is going for a Rax expand. This is prime setup for a 3 Rax, just because he doesn't have a second gas geyser. It would make sense for him to throw down additional Raxes behind this, additional barracks, I mean. And we'll see if he, yep, there we go. We have a second Rax. We should be seeing a third Rax momentarily, and this is exactly what ByuN did earlier in this series. Is doing the same thing. Meanwhile, herO, I appreciate this. This is a little bit more old school, but herO is accurately reading what his opponent is doing. herO is not going for a Stargate. He is not going for a Twilight Council. This is a Robo opener from herO. Oh, and I assumed that this was going to be for fast Immortals for a fast Colossus, but herO is also throwing down additional gateways. Interesting. So with these additional gateways, it is not Immortals, it is not a Robotics Bay. We are going for a Warp Prism. herO is looking to be hyper aggressive. So even though his bases are exposed, he is looking to be in the face of his opponent with vanilla gateway units. Now he's going to have pseudo blink available with this Warp Prism. He can, you know, juggle units basically and pretend like he has blink. So he can be a little bit quite aggressive with this. But up against 3 Rax, who do I favor here? Good question. I mean, for now, herO doesn't know. He doesn't know what he's walking into. He's playing blind. And if he missteps here, he will lose the Warp Prism. And if he loses the Warp Prism, he's going to lose the game. Oh, but the Shade does make it into the main base. herO, he does see the 3 Rax of his opponent. Or he can piece it together. And ByuN is in some trouble. As the Stalkers are making their way up the ramp. And boys are being pulled. Stim is nowhere near being done, by the way. I assumed it would be ready for this. I assumed we would have some bunkers, but alas, no. ByuN cutting too many corners. No bunkers are available, and herO, he may not have blink, but he has the next best thing. He has the Warp Prism. The Duckling is too good, and herO is snowballing out of control. The natural base has to be given up. Stim is still on the horizon. Again, hot pickup with that Warp Prism. And this is already game-ending damage. Deepers are falling left and right. Another big warp in from these Stalkers. How many workers are going to go down? Stim still not done. 10 seconds away. We are 10 seconds off, and by the time it finishes, what's going to be left, Bappy? Is it going to be worth it? We do have the Stim towards the end, but herO, he dives on top of the army. The orders go down. GG gets called. And herO takes game number 4. We have an ace match. We're going all the way to game 5. Oh, let's go. Let us go. Yet herO, in a way, hard countering the 3 racks of ByuN. Being able to identify that ByuN was probably going to do the same follow-up, the same build again, after he forced a really weird base layout. And was able to punish him so hard, was able to hit quite before Stim was done. Without Stim, you can see that a bio army really struggles against, you know, gateway units like that. And there was no bunker either. There was no bunker on the high ground. Very little Sim City to work with. So yeah, we did see that ByuN just was woefully underprepared for that attack. And now we're getting into the ace match, into game 5. It's going to be Royal Blood. Here we go. It all ends here. It all ends in game 5. Both of these lovely players, herO and ByuN, they've been fighting their hearts out. They've been doing well for themselves here in this tournament. But there can only be one victor. There can only be one champion. Who's it going to be? As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have the South Korean Protoss player representing Dragon Kaiser Gaming. It is herO. tying up the series 2-2 in that last game. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. Hello there. Once again, sending an SCV out across the map. Only one SCV, bear that in mind. So it's looking like a proxy Rax, followed by a Rax back at home. So a 2 Rax opener here from ByuN. Now the last time we saw this, herO also went for a proxy gateway, so things got very rowdy, things got very intense on Gressman. This time though, herO is going for a standard opener, so this is going to be a little bit more ideal for ByuN. Oh, as we are taking a second gas geyser. Is this more? This is not a proxy 2 Rax, by the way. We're going for a factory? Question mark? Okay, so we're proxying the first Reaper, and I guess we're just transitioning into a factory back at home. So not too aggressive, actually, from ByuN. Just a singular proxy Rax. I assumed there would be one across the map and one at home, and we would just like have an abundance of Reapers to work with, like what we saw previously. But no, this time it's looking a little bit more standard here instead, as we do have the Reaper rallied into the main base. Factory is on the way, and herO, he's aware of everything. He scouts everything. He sees that the Rax is missing, and herO can prepare back at home. He does chrono out his first Zealot. The Zealot has arrived, and the main base, the main mineral line, is going to be safe and sound. ByuN can't really find too much damage here. Is going to back off, and yeah, ByuN is transitioning. He's got his CC on the way. Factory. Rax is floating back home. And we are getting into a 3-1-1 setup, as we have seen previously. So yeah, we are calming down from here. I wonder if ByuN was gonna double down if he wasn't probe scouted. herO doesn't probe scout every game, so maybe ByuN was just gambling a little bit with how herO was playing this out. Oh my god. As herO is looking to be hyper aggressive, delaying his tech by quite a bit, going for 2 more gateways. Okay. I'm curious. This is giving me some vibes of the previous game when herO went for a Robo into a Warp Prism. But there's no Prism this time. There's no Prism. There's no Robo. Twilight Council's thrown down behind this. So herO's looking to be very aggressive here with vanilla gateway units. Or maybe he's just looking to open up very safely instead. Yeah, really interesting build here from herO. As he dives into the main, he gets eyes on all the production and does confirm the 3-1 setup. The soon-to-be 3-1-1. Units are moving out across the map. Here comes the army of herO. Again, for him to open up 3 gateways was very suspect. We have charge on the way. Not blink. herO. Oh my. Looking to really spice things up here in the ace match. Robo's on the way. I wouldn't be surprised if herO doesn't expand, if instead he throws down 3 more gates. Alright, he throws down 2 more gates. It is not going to be... I assumed it was going to be an 8-gate charge all-in. But no, it's going to be 5 gates, and we have a Templar Archives on the way for Archons. And ByuN is none the wiser. He kind of saw the army a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if we throw down more gates, but no, herO, he is taking a later third. which is very late, but the third is on the way nonetheless. For our Protoss player. So yeah, I found this really interesting. We're taking a lot of twists and a lot of turns, essentially. Storm on the way for herO. Prism as well. So herO, his main army is getting in position to defend the fourth. Meanwhile, he's going for a Zealot drop across the map. I think maybe he was hoping that the army would move out and ask and you shall receive. ByuN is moving out with his forces, pulling a couple of SCVs as well. He himself has not thrown down a third, which is a little bit more standard for a Terran player. And with the abundance of tanks, he's up to 4 tanks at this point. He's going to be looking to wedge himself in between these bases. Storm is not done, and Stim is. Uh-oh. Stim is done, and it looks like the timing is just not going to work out for herO. The High Templar being focused out one after the other. Storm at 10 seconds away, but 2 High Templar just went down, and there's only 1 left. Only 1 Storm, and here he has to make it count. Does connect on the army, and it looks like do we have enough Marines here to protect the tanks? It looks like we do. The tanks, they barely hold on. Reinforcements are on the way. Bunkers are being thrown down as well. herO, he's cut off from his own nexus. Zealots are gonna drop on top of the tanks. They take down 1. ByuN is repositioning, pushing on ever closer. That nexus is under fire. It's gonna go down, as far as I'm concerned. Oh, herO cannot engage across the map. The Zealot drop is going into the main, but we have reinforcements. We have Marauders. We have tanks. We don't have any anti-air though. Prism is getting a little bit out of hand. Is getting out of hand as herO is forced to evacuate 4 SCVs, but only 4 workers. So ByuN, he regains control of his main base, can focus on his attack. We have 3 bunkers, we have 3 tanks. herO cannot break this. He's trying desperately. He gets 1 of the tanks down, but he had to fight so hard just for that 1 tank. The 3rd base did fall for herO. Reinforcements come in, they clean up these Zealots. They force back the army, and ByuN is pulling this off. Gonna be looking to unsiege and slowly creep upon that natural. The Immortals are taking a lot of shots to the face. You can see herO trying to come in from behind. Does get all the tanks, but that's not the point. Like ByuN, behind this, he's working on his 3rd CC. He's up in workers. herO's going to be able to break free. As herO does clean this up. Does preserve his Immortals. I'm a little bit surprised. Surprised that the Immortals survived. And ByuN was pretty committed. This 3rd CC for ByuN is actually really late. So herO's still in this. He's retaking his 3rd. ByuN in the midst of retaking his own 3rd base as well. The Immortals, oh, they wanted that tank, but they will not get it. 1 Immortal does go down. herO is on the back foot. Here we go. ByuN just going to be rallying everything across the map, and now once again with more tanks. He lost them earlier. Now he's got plenty to work with. Storm! Oh, big storm on the army. Yeah, more where that came from. Tanks are leapfrogging forward. 1 tank does go down. ByuN, he wants the Marauder. He wants the Immortal. Looks like he will get it. Does force an Archon as well. Without any splash damage, it looks like the bio army of ByuN is getting out of control. There's no shield battery overcharge behind this either. Storm barely comes in. But the Marauders, the Marines, they are snowballing out of control, and it looks like ByuN has finally done it. Earlier, he did kill the third base. Earlier, I thought that he would have broken herO then and there, but no, herO, he did survive for a couple more minutes. But alas, he was only delaying the inevitable. As ByuN, there is nothing stopping him. It was close. It went to the ace match, to be fair. It did go all the way to the ace match. But ByuN was the better player on the day. Another tank goes down, but for the entire army of herO, he's down to one immortal. He's down to one shield battery, one overcharge. Oh, no mas, papi. Oh, no mas. That's all he has. DTs are going to be triggering on him, but we have detection. We have detection for the DTs. That's all we need. As more DTs are being morphed in to defend as well. At the same time, we do have a War Prism across the map to harass. But ByuN, he's working his way into the natural. Another Dark Templar falls. And herO's just really taking the loss in. Doing whatever he can to fight back. Warping in DTs after DTs. But the Invisible Man is not enough, papi. It's not enough. GG gets called, and ByuN will be taking the series 3-2, becoming this week's ESL Open Cup Asia champion. GG, well played. Congratulations to ByuN. My condolences to herO. herO, he put up a good fight. He worked his way through the best that Korea had to offer when it comes to Zerg players. When it comes to the Zergs, he took down herO, he took down Solar. But here against the Terrans, he was struggling a little bit more against ByuN. We saw some really interesting stuff out of ByuN. We saw some 3 Raxes, we saw some proxy Raxes as well. A lot of diverse play out of ByuN, really keeping herO guessing, and yeah, really well done. Really well done by our South Korean Terran player. Do love to see it, as he's going to be this week's champion for ESL Open Cup Asia, but we'll see if he can go back-to-back. ESL Open Cup Americas is in 12 hours. 12 hours from this message, we're going to be live here with the American version, the Americas version of this weekly tournament. So, yeah, be sure you're a part of that, as we can sometimes see returning players like ByuN, Dark, herO, Cure. They do make their return in the mornings for ESL Americas. So be sure to stay tuned for that. Meanwhile, we are still not done. We're going to be going on a short break. I'm going to be taking this moment to go to the bathroom, to stretch my legs, get some fresh water as well. I am out of water, and maybe boil some coffee. Because the night is still young. The night is still young, and as I was casting those last 2 games, I was drifting off a little bit. I was contemplating life. I was like, do we want to commit? Do we want to push on through? Can we push on through? Oh, I just realized that the title was wrong the entire time. Can we push on through? Well, yeah. World Team League starts in 10 minutes. We have 10 minutes before we get into WTL, and I do want to cast it, especially because I was looking at the Wikipedia page, and I really want to cast Mystery Gaming. I really want to cast Twisted Minds. I want to get in on some Young Yako versus Bunny, and some Nicaract versus Ragnarok, and some Classic versus Strange. It's looking so good and so tempting, so we are going to be going on a short break. I will turn the stream off because I need to restart the delay. There is a different delay for WTL because it is through a clean feed. And I do have to set up all of the overlays and set up all of the assets. So it's going to take a little bit for me to get that going. But don't go anywhere. We're going to be going on a short break. We're going to be restarting the stream. And when we return, World Team League is upon us. If you enjoyed this tournament, and if you enjoyed the cast, I promise I'm usually a little bit more awake for the cast. I was just really tired, and I'm still tired, and I have to wake myself up. Because I made the mistake of waking up at a standard time today in the morning. Oh my god, of all things. If you enjoyed, this is a weekly tournament. Every week we have ESL Open Cup Asia before you, and the Americas variant as well on this channel, on the CranKy Ducklings ! Socials in the chat if you want to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. All things CranKy Ducklings. Again, going in a short break. Gonna have to quickly get through this and, quickly set up, and then WTL in 10 minutes. See you soon. See you soon. Oh, GG.